welcome to KennyRoy.com. I'm Kenny Roy. This is the Ask Videomail for the week of October 21st, 2013. Welcome to the site to you new members, and welcome back to the old members. The Ask Videomail is your chance to get your question in character animation or performance answered in a video just like this one, but I need your question if I'm going to answer it. So please send your questions to webmaster@KennyRoy.com. I go through all the questions and I answer the ones that I think will help the most people. There is no such thing as a stupid question, and it is the best way to get the most out of the site. It is just very exciting going into fall. I always love the fall. My wife and I, we have a joke. I say it's my zone because I love wearing jackets. I love jackets. So it's getting a little bit chillier here, even in Southern California. It's chilly in the morning and at night, so I'm getting into my zone, so I love it. It also means that we're coming up on some exciting things. CTN, November, is it the 15th? I believe it's the 15th this year. And yes, it's 15th, 16th, and 17th, and that's always very exciting. It's like the biggest animation gathering that there is, and that will be held, as it always is, over at the Burbank Airport Marriott, or don't come to me for information. I don't know what I'm talking about anyway. But anyway, so CTN is going to be a great chance to get together. There's also something pretty cool coming up very soon. November 5th is the Animation Magazine Summit in Marina Del Rey. Just go to animationmagazine.com and check out what they're doing. It's basically sort of like a mini CTN. I'm actually excited. I'm going to go and check it out and see, talk to people, listen to some people talk. Just have a great time. Always immerse yourself. Take every opportunity you can get. If you're nearby these things, go to them, because you'll meet people, you'll network. Who knows what will come of it down the road. You never know. You never know. And then after that, in December 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, no, 2nd through the 5th is Autodesk Cave, the Cave Conference, and also Autodesk University. They're held at the same venue. They're basically co-located events. Anyway, Autodesk University is the education conference for Autodesk products, Autodesk University, and Cave is the brand new artist-centric conference for all things creative. Obviously centered around Autodesk software, but they have everybody from designers to actors. I think the keynote is John Cleese. So it's a huge, awesome educational opportunity. It's basically, I'm calling it the SIGGRAPH for artists, instead of what SIGGRAPH really is for technicians. There's no white papers at Cave. It's going to be all just artists giving presentations on art and visual effects, animation, design, those kinds of things. So that's, check out Autodesk University and Autodesk Cave, and you'll just get all the information you need. But anyway, let's jump to the question. It's a goodie. I think you'll enjoy it. Check it out. I'm very glad you asked. Knee pops, it's funny, I started thinking about how to answer this question, and I believe that I answered a sort of a similar question. It had to do with knees and elbows, I believe, like one of the second or third video mails I ever recorded for KennyRoy.com. Funny thing is that I was going back and I was thinking about that, and I really didn't have a workflow approach to this. And then I started going through my workflow and seeing why I don't really have any problems with knee pops. And I think it's because my quick walk workflow, my walk cycle workflow, that you determine stride length first, actually eliminates like 80 to 90% of the possibility of knee pops. Why? Because your hips are staying a set distance away from your legs, your feet. All right, so that's when a knee pop occurs. It's when you're keyframing your animation and the hips either go up and down and go out of range of that IK foot, or forward and back and go out of range of that IK foot. So if you establish your stride length first, then what ends up happening is you have a very, very easily controlled range that your hips and your feet are operating within. Okay, so let me just jump into Maya real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here we have good old Morpheus. So the way that a lot of people start making their walk cycles is they start just like keying straight ahead. Or if they're keying them in place, then they kind of make what I consider a mistake to start just kind of like randomly posing what they think is their first footfall. Well, that's not the way I think you should ever do your walk cycle. I think you should find stride length. So I'm going to find that again really quickly for you. Basically, you just want to position the character in a very comfortable step. This is obviously way too far forward. Oops. What am I doing here? Let me turn off everything except curves. There we go. Now I'm a winner. Okay. We want to center those hips. Okay. So here we have a pretty comfortable stride, I would say. All right. It might be a little far forward still. And comfortable, let me qualify that as well. Comfortable also means that the character is taking a step where they don't have to bend down like this to do it. So it's almost as upright as possible, but see what's already happening? Those legs are maxing out, right? So you gotta come down just a little bit to give yourself some range. Okay, is that updating? There we go. You just gotta give yourself a little bit of range, okay? So anyway, so now we have that foot, it's forward, right? And it's 48, so let's just make it an even 50, all right? And just say, okay, well 50 is one step. And then the distance between these 2 feet, you double that for a biped, and my stride length is 100, right? That simple. So here's one pose. He's going to take a step. Let's have him take a step in 4 frames. Oops, 100. This guy should be probably centered at 25. And then 75. And then this is planted for 1 frame. In fact, we can just do 100 right here. Oops, 125. It started on 25. My bad. And then this guy planted for 1 frame and then 4 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be 150, right? Okay, now we can slide this. So this, we can delete all the intermediate keys right here. Let's make this linear. Then we can take this, set a key, set it backwards, negative 100. Okay, and now our character, make this linear as well. Okay, now our character. Now we can probably take this and make this character just a little bit more forward on this step. Actually, the real issue is that this is supposed to be, it's actually supposed to be 11 frames. Not 12 frames, because I was doing 4, 4. Okay, so here we are. Now we have our character. Now, this was very, very quick. Again, I've done this a million times for you guys. I've shown you this workflow. Fact is that, you know, when you're talking about making your character walk cycles. In the end, it is it's super advantageous to have a workflow that not only is easy, but it eliminates problems. So that's kind of why I'm pushing this workflow. Mainly is because if you have a workflow that's like super fast, but it has a lot of like knee pops. If you're like this animator that asked this question, and all your animation always has a lot of knee pops in your walks, then just because you can block a walk in 30 minutes and it looks pretty darn good, except for the knees are just popping all over the place, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're on the right workflow. You might need to take a slower workflow, or one that's a little bit more cumbersome, or a little less intuitive to you, and actually, chew the fat, do the work to find that new workflow. As long as when you come out the other side, you have way fewer problems like knee pops and stuff like that. So anyway, back to the animation here. So the thing is that I really find that I almost never have any problems with knee pops, because when I start introducing the up and down, like here's my passing pose. Okay, 6 and then 1, 2, right here. That, again, as you can see, because I ranged this sort of all at the same time, that I'm having no problem with the distance between the hips and the feet, ever fighting each other. And then when I do, so here's the thing. So this leg right here, this is almost maxed out. Let me show you. See, it's almost maxed out, right? But what can I do, right? Well, actually, this is the leg that's stepping. So I would want to probably not heel pivot, foot roll. This foot is already coming up. So I can play with the range a little bit like that. And then as it comes up, turn that foot roll off, raise it up, rotate it down, like that. Just like that, And then one thing I like to do is like to copy the frame before, and then just rotate it back, and then just back it out. See, this is, I guess this is another part of the workflow, which is, once I'm making this first step happen, I'm actually ranging this. I'm ranging this very, very, very thoughtfully and carefully. So that I don't have a knee pop, right? I'm making sure there's a little bend in that knee. And so look what just happened. I started with my quick workflow, which is define the stride length. That gives me a baseline, which is super, super, super good as far as making sure the range is correct for me to start moving forward with doing these customizations to my walk. And then you just saw it happen. I just started fixing this one foot, and the heel's coming up, so I'm able to range that knee, and then I have the foot kind of kick out, boop, like that, boom, okay, and then it plants. Oops, turn off that rotation. There we go. Bam. And at no point is there a knee pop, okay? And so this foot roll is 0.9. Let's just do 1 and make sure that my foot roll, by this point is 1 as well, so that the first frame and the last frame match each other, just like that, okay? So now I've just done this this background foot. Well, I know it's hard for you to see, but let me just orbit around here and just show you, okay? So this is just 1 foot, but how long has this Videomail been? This is just 1 foot, and this 1 foot is basically 80% there, and there's never going to be a knee pop on this leg. See that? It just starts, it lifts up, it plants, it goes back. I mean, what more could you possibly want, right? And it even didn't even introduce a knee pop when I did the Y, the up and down on the hips. Why? Because the hips and the feet were all progressing with that stride length, making sure that everything is like by the number, like to the infinite precision. They're all moving perfectly together. So I guess to this animator, I would say, look at your workflow. See if there is a way that you can change your workflow to make it so that you're introducing less problems, even if it means that the work is a little bit harder. It not only takes more time to fix problems, but it's also way demotivating. At least if you're working longer and harder on a result like a walk cycle that doesn't have problems in it, you at least know that you're taking steps, no pun intended, that are always progressing, rather than putting in animation that is eventually going to need you to like look over it again and again and again and again. I guess that would be my advice. All comes back down to workflow. One of these days, maybe if there's ever a Videomail on, if April 1st is ever a Monday, I'm going to do a Videomail where it's like it posts this big long question and then it cuts back to me and I'm like, workflow, and then that's the end of the Videomail, because that's the answer. The answer is workflow. All right. That was a great question. I really appreciated it. If you guys want to send me your Maya file, I would have loved to see a Maya file for this question and maybe diagnose the knee pops that you're getting. You can go ahead and send me your Maya files, guys. I'd love to see that. Please send more questions. I can always use more questions to webmaster@kennyroy.com. It's a really great way to take advantage of the site. There's no other site out there that offers the Ask Videomail structure. It's a way that you can access me, get into my brain, see my workflow, and just have a really great time here on the site. So please take advantage of it if you haven't already. This was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot. Good luck with your animation, and as always, rock on.